recently turned 40, which sounds old, but it doesn't feel that old. In fact, I'm not really sure 40 feels a lot different than any other age I've been. But one of the things about a round number like 40 is it causes us to reflect in a way that numbers like 37 or 28 simply don't. So I've been spending a lot of time lately thinking about being 40, and more importantly, the things I've learned over the last decade. It's interesting. When I was 20, and even 30, I sort of saw 40 as this age where I would have everything figured out, where I would have my life completely together. And I assure you, I do not. But despite that fact, I have picked up a few lessons over the last decade that have been tremendously helpful in leading me to live a deeper and more meaningful life, and to just be a happier person. These are things that I wish someone would have told me when I was 30. So in that spirit, here are the things that 40-year-old Brian would tell 30-year-old Brian. Put the phone down. The smartphone thing has probably just really started to take off. And if my math is right, you've probably just pre-ordered the iPhone 4, the one with FaceTime, and it's made of metal. I know, so cool. But here's the thing. 10 years from now, you'll start to realize that phones really aren't that cool. And we're gonna start to understand the consequences of having our attention constantly hijacked by these little screens. Spoiler alert, it's not good for you. So leave your phone at home whenever you can. It's a lot more than you think. And turn your notifications off. Whatever is happening in the real world is a lot more important than the latest YouTube video, Instagram post, or breaking news. Also, resist the temptation to pull your phone out of your pocket every time you have a down moment. Just be present, observe the world around you. Here's the thing, if you pull your phone out of your pocket every time you're bored, it's going to change you, and not in ways that you're going to like. And we're gonna spend a lot of time, and it's gonna be a lot of hard work over the next 10 years to undo those changes. So leave the phone in your pocket. And oh, one more thing, you don't need the new iPhone every year. I know it feels like the end of the world when you don't get it, but it's not, and you'll save a lot of money. You're going to spend a fair amount of time in your 30s worried about relationships and situations, and you're gonna feel a lot of fear around the worst case scenario. And that fear can be a really powerful thing and drive you to some poor decisions, especially when it's based on ambiguity and it's not well defined. Here's the lesson you learn. The worst case scenario almost never happens. And even when it does, even when it all goes wrong, you come out stronger and better on the other side. So stop worrying so much. Don't make yourself suffer unnecessarily, constantly pondering the worst case scenario. Now I know, it's easy for me to say don't worry. So here's a little exercise that I found so helpful. Write down the thing you're afraid of. Do it in detail. Don't leave anything out. What is the literal worst thing that can happen in a situation? And once you've written it down, make a plan. How would you come back from this? What you'll find is there's almost always a way back to your current state, your current situation. Almost nothing is the end of the world. And once you've made that plan, ask yourself, how realistic is it that all of these terrible things are going to happen? It's not very likely. Write it down, think about it, then move on. Trust me, it works. Start now. There are so many things you're going to want to do and have the opportunity to do over the coming years, but you'll be tempted to tell yourself that you'll get to it someday. You'll take a little more time to research, or wait for the timing to be just a little bit better. Don't listen to that. It's bullshit. Start now and course correct later. Unless you have a really good reason to wait, and most reasons aren't good, get started. For example, I've wanted to get into making films for a really long time, but I've always put it off. I need to just learn a little bit more. I need to just get better gear. I need to just, well, you get the idea. I finally got started. And the thing I regret is waiting so long to get moving. In fact, I regret all the time lost to someday a lot more than I regret mistakes I've made or getting started too soon. Someday is an illusion. It never comes. It's a thing we tell ourselves to put off doing the hard thing or the scary thing that we know we should do. Spend a little bit of time making a plan, a little bit of time doing research, and then get moving. You do well to remember the quote, favorable conditions will never come. So start now. Money doesn't equal meaning. Look, having some money is nice. In fact, it makes some things easier, and life can be a lot less stressful when you have enough. But past enough, it doesn't make a difference. You're going to be tempted to fall into the trap of always wanting more, of thinking that you'll be happy if you just get to that next comma or that next big round number. Trust me, it doesn't work. It never makes you happy. Instead, focus on spending time with the people you care about and doing the things that challenge you to grow. Remember, money is a tool. It's a means to an end. There is no prize for accumulating a certain amount of cash in your bank account. My 30s were pretty great. I met Jackie, we moved to California, we got engaged. I got to see my kids grow into quality young adults, and I learned some really important lessons along the way. And look, you don't have to be 30 to apply those lessons to your life. In fact, I'm still working on most of these every day. And if you're in pursuit of a deeper, more meaningful life, maybe you'll find them as useful as I would have at 30, and as I still do today. And we'll see you back here in 10 years, when 50-year-old Brian has some advice for me.